Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to talk about 5 pieces of gear that I love, but some of those YouTubers would tell you to ditch first. Here we go. So one of the first pieces of gear I'm going to talk about is my JETBOIL. I do love my JETBOIL, and for the reasons that it's fast, quick, and easy, and you can pack everything into one stove. And a lot of the times they tell you to ditch it first because it's bulky, it's clunky, it weighs more. But when I actually compare it to something like the GSI Soloist, if I just take the pot and an MSR Pocket Rocket, as well as a lighter, and measure it up against the JETBOIL, they actually come in both at 10.9 ounces each. And this is the Micro-Mo, one of my favorite, but I do have almost every JETBOIL in the lineup, including the Genesis Base Camp. What I also love with the JETBOIL, it does come with the handle and the neoprene sleeve, which for me is key in actually keeping the temperature of the water. And something else cool that I love about the JETBOIL, where I've been able to maximize the space, is actually by removing the cup off the bottom. And what I put in here are different things like a backup lighter, mini lighter, a little mini Swiss Army knife, a little scrubby, a little piece of microfiber cloth, which I just cut from a bigger piece, and some camp soap. So that all fits into the bottom of this JETBOIL pot. And the next piece of gear or item that beginning backpackers tend to bring with them is deodorant. And I say you don't have to embrace your own stink. You might have to tolerate other people's stink or stank on the trail, but if you do want to stay clean as possible and do want to bring some type of deodorant, I do recommend Lume. I have used this on the Colorado Trail. This little 3-ounce travel size bottle actually will last you about 3 weeks. And this deodorant is actually good for armpits, it's good for feet, it's good for private parts. You should actually check out Lume's website, which I'll link below. And I'm not sponsored by Lume. I just love this product and have tested it out. And you can look at the unscented deodorant, which is absolutely great for trail. Another thing I love about Lume is they actually have a wash, a spray that will help de-stink some of these polyester clothes that you wear on trail. So a lot of the times you end up ditching the deodorant because your clothes are gonna smell anyways. Well, I took these on 500 miles of the Colorado Trail, washed it with the Lume spray, and they smell still wonderful. I'm still able to use them and didn't have to ditch these clothes after that long trail. Another piece of gear that they tell you to ditch first or move over is actually moving out of a big brand framed backpack. And I will say you do not necessarily need to do that. I love my Gregory Jade. I actually have a Gregory Jade, not only in this 28 liter, but also this 53 liter, a 63 liter, and an original 50 liter from 2014. And what I love about the Jade is that the frame also comes with a suspension system. And so what happens with this is that if you do have to carry a heavier load, which I do because I hike with my dog and have to carry extra food, this Jade will fit more comfortably on you and carry the weight better than it in the lighter backpack. I did test out the ULA circuit earlier this year, which had a higher volume capacity, but also it did not carry the weight as easily as this Jade. I can carry the max weight load of 40 pounds, which I definitely did more than 40 on the Colorado Trail, and not feel it and carry it better than when I was hiking with the ULA circuit. What Gregory does, especially for petite frames, which I'm only 5'1", so I do have to get the extra small, they will reduce the size of the bag. So even though this says 53 liter, it's actually a 50 liter backpack. So that helps too with when you're hiking, you don't actually get the extra bag or the baggage on the back and feel more comfortable for those smaller sized frames. And with this backpack, even though it weighs a pound more at 3.5 pounds versus the ULA circuit at 2.5 pounds, I can carry everything I need more easily and better and more comfortably, which is the most important part, than something like the ultralight ULA circuit. And the fourth piece of gear I'm gonna talk about that I still love bringing, that a lot of people tell you to ditch first, is a water bladder. And what I love about having an actual water bladder is that I can store more water, one, more comfortably on my back when I'm hiking, especially with the dog. And so usually on day hikes, I just have to carry the one bladder. I don't have to refill it. And it's easier for me to be able to have Remy drink from the hose of my water bladder than try to pour it into a bowl or pour it out of a water bottle. So usually when we're hiking, I think I have it in a couple of videos, is that I will just bend over a little bit and squeeze the tip of it, and he can drink right from here, and I don't have to stop for another water break. I can keep hiking, and it's really, really easy to actually have the dog and myself drink it. The other thing I like about the water bladder is that you can take little sips at a time, especially when I was in Colorado and hiking at elevation. To help avoid dehydration, it's always good to continually drink little sips of water instead of chugging when you're super thirsty. I also have shorter arms, so I'm not always able to reach into the back pockets to grab a water bottle there. And because I can't carry a lot of stuff on my shoulders, because my shoulders are really narrow, I don't like having a big water bottle on the front of my pack either. One of the things that people complain about with having a water bladder is that you have to take it out of the bag, but you don't actually have to do that anymore. And so what's really easy for me is that these quick connects, which come with a lot of, this is just the Gregory 3D Hydro. A lot of with the new water bladders are easy to connect and disconnect your bladder. And what you can do is also flip this around. So what happens is you can have the actual hook or the disconnect of your water bladder on the strap of your backpack, and you don't have to ever take it out if you have one of the pump filters that can connect to it. And usually if I do have to refill when I'm hiking, I don't ever have to take this back, and I don't have to take the pack off my back either. I can actually just hook up my water pump and pump it straight into my backpack. So I have the pump here, and I've got the quick disconnect to my bag, so I would just take that off while I'm hiking, and then connect the hose. The end is in the water, and I would just pump it from there, undo it, and hook it back in. Easy peasy. Love my water bladder. And the fifth piece of gear that I'm going to talk about today and what I love is actually regular hiking boots. I love hiking boots or hiking shoes, something specifically for hiking, and particularly the Salomon brand. I'm a huge Salomon fan, but note that not all Salomons will fit me and not all Salomons will fit alike, but they have such a wide variety. I'm sure you'll find a style of Salomons that you would really like. Again, I am not sponsored by Salomon. And so on the Colorado Trail, I ended up taking the Salomon Outbacks, which they have redone, discontinued this first style here. But these things only weighed 0.6 ounces more than my trail runner, but they carried the weight and my feet felt amazing. I got 0 blisters that entire trail. And once I put these on, after wearing a trail runner like shoe, is my feet were not burning at the end of the day. I didn't have to feel every pinch of the rock that was underneath my feet. And I was able to carry the weight of my pack more comfortably over time. And the other thing that people tell you is stay away from Gore-Tex. I still love Gore-Tex. I have all Gore-Tex shoes. I don't have an issue with my feet sweating, with it being a swamp in there. I do air them out when I take breaks or have lunch. And I also wear the Indigi toe socks, which actually helps a lot with that rubbing or with your toes getting the moisture in them. But definitely love my Salomon boots. And what's nice about these, especially if you have plantar fasciitis problems, is that something with the chassis or something with the shank in the middle will help with that support and help even out the weight if you are backpacking. Now, just for hiking, I do have other pairs of specific hiking shoes, which are the Salomon Vias. And these are the Via Lows, which I take on hikes that are probably sandy, even terrain. And if I need something with more mountainous terrain, it's gonna be wet or it's gonna be rocky, I will take the mids. And these things are super lightweight, specifically made for hiking, and I love them. So if you look over all these things, everything that I love, and 5 pieces of gear that I still use or that I still wear, I'm not really part of the cool kids club. But don't feel gear shamed by everyone else telling you have to go to trail runners, that you shouldn't wear deodorant, that you should just go to a pot in a regular stove, or you shouldn't carry a water bladder. These are your personal choices, and it's okay to use these things. And whatever makes you feel more comfortable on trail, just go for it. No gear shaming here. And if you've got a piece of gear that someone has always told you to ditch, please put it in the comments below. I would love to hear what those pieces are and your thoughts. And if you have any questions about the gear I use or how I use it, please put those in the comments below. I will definitely get to them. Anyways, if you enjoyed the contents of this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to my channel. I talk all about hiking, camping, and backpacking, and your outdoor life adventures with you and your dog. Thanks for watching.